They did it, guys. They did it. We did it, boys. Top tier is no more. Top tier is gone. No more. Fucking Kowalski analysis, this shit. Okay. So, Gaijin did the change, as you all saw in my video yesterday, my little short little video. Everything has heat now, stock, except for the British and the Swedish, which don't use heat. The Swedish use high explosive, in case you were wondering, because they have a slightly modified 120 mil. They use high explosive instead of heat. The British, we all know, don't use heat. Good thing, Brit bongs out there. Gaijin didn't decide to give you Hesh stock and no Sable round. Could you imagine? Could you imagine using Hesh, knowing that you always squad up with America, and it's almost always you versus the Russians with Contact 1, Contact 5, the Germans with the Arrowhead, the Swedish with the Arrowhead, you know, on the 122, the French with their pretty alright chemical protection on their export tanks, actually, the Italians, which will just sit hull down. I mean, maybe you can pen them, okay. The fucking Chinese with their discount T-72s that you don't even see because they're 9.7. The Japanese with the Type 90s running around shooting you in the side with 5-second reload heat FS. You know, like, what the fuck? This is what would have made the most sense for tanks that are 9.7-ish and 10.0, okay? This would have made so much more sense than giving everybody stock heat. You can keep the heat stock, but we need a Sabre round. The M1 Abrams did not receive M833, okay? M735 stock round should not even be researchable. It costs the same as 7.7. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's the only fucking round I've seen so far that doesn't. Either way, M735 stock, M774, 9.7 battle rating. The Leopard 2K is 9.7. No fucking reason. The IPM1 got M833. M774 stock, it's what it should have been, and M833 exactly where it is. Leave it at 10.0. The M1A1 Abrams, M829 stock and M830 stock, maybe M829 and bump it up to 10.7. That could have been possible, or just leave it as it is. It would have been that odd one out tank. The M1A2 Abrams, M829 stock, M829A1 is a rank 4 modification. That was maybe 900 SL to shoot, because I'm pretty sure it's a pretty damn good fucking round. Germany, the Leopard 2K. DM13 should have remained stock. DM23 should have been a rank 4 upgrade. Maybe a little bit more expensive because you're using it at 9.7. You know, because it's just as fast, if not more faster than an original M1 Abrams. You know, with the trolley angles. The Leopard 2A4. DM13 stock. DM23 upgraded. Totally fine. It was totally fine. The 2A5 could have received DM23 stock and kept DM33 as an upgrade, or even added DM53 and made DM33 like a rank 3 modification or a rank 2 modification. The Russians. My T-72A is stuck with heat now. My T-64B should still remain the same. Yes, it should. Okay, good. T-64B, totally fine. T-80B, totally fine. T-80U, they were totally fine. Having 3BM22 be their stock round was totally fine. The same with the T-72B, totally fine. The T-72A, 3BM9. Why would I research 3BM9? The second I research parts, I can get 3BM15, which is already miles better for a 9.3 vehicle. In terms of both angle pen and raw pen, overall. The Russians were totally fine. The T-62M now starts off with heat instead of a dart round. It was totally fine where it was. The British, obviously, they didn't get changed, so we don't have to worry about them. The Japanese. JM33, if I recall, was a rank 2 mod before, or maybe it stayed the same. But they showed up in the thing. So maybe it was just the wording was that they just got their loadout changed, so they started with heat. The Type 90s were semi-fine, but I mean, if the Japanese had a slightly worse round than JM33, should have been a stock round. The Chinese at 9.7 and 9.3 were totally fine where they were at. Maybe just make 125 one a rank 2 mod or a rank 1 mod. The Italians and the French get is where it gets annoying to me, because they were already some of the hardest trees to grind in the game. The French don't get stabilizers unless you buy a premium or you get the AMX32. That's what you're researching rank 7 with. The Italians, fairly alright with their little wheelie boys, you know, but at top tier it got really difficult, especially when I originally was grinding the tree, and the Romor was a 9.3, the Centauro was 7.7, but the rest of the 7.7 lineup was kind of bad. The 040 Premium came out, and I started taking this Centauro, combined with my YS, which I had previously because of the air tree being out for so long. I was going into top tier battles with the original Centauro, and shooting people in the side with Sabo. I wasn't even using heat because it did not work on the sides of T-64Bs with the BV modification. The Italians, okay, the automatic obviously doesn't really fucking matter because it's still a dart round. No matter, that's never changed. The OF40 still has a Sabo round, normal Sabo round. The pre-series, okay, actually no, let's keep going. Romor starts off with heat now. I'm almost done researching DM33. I don't need 735 anymore. Pre-series Arietti. I just GE'd DM33 because I was like 200 XP away. I literally put like 5 G into it, and boom, I have it. I don't need DM23 now. Now I can go research engine. Actually, what was my Romor researching? Okay, it was still there. My MGS, which gets tier 1 night vision, or thermal, I should say, sorry. Gotta research DM33 now. Because I didn't keep playing it. Okay, this update was very sudden for anybody who did not see the forum data mine. This was instantaneous. The data mine came out yesterday, which was the 12th. Today is the 13th. Data mine came out literally fucking yesterday. I saw it really early in the morning, but I was making a bunch of other videos. I was getting a lot of stuff done. I was very busy yesterday. Until later in the day when I could finally put a video out on it. Anybody grinding the 10,000 stock repair cost glass cannon, which is the C1 Arietti, the first production Arietti, will be using DM12 stock. And by the way, you know what's funny? You know what this update completely revokes? The Heat FS nerf to NATO and the parts and FPE debacle for a lot of people. Like Napalm said, it completely reverts the FPE the problem because instead of going for FPE, now everyone wants to go for the Sabo round to make it quicker to get FPE. But either way, depending on your grind it, in my personal opinion, it's going to be the same amount of time no matter what. Either you don't have a dart round and you suffer more and you make less XP per match to get FPE, or you get DM33 first, and then the matches that it took to get DM33 will take you to get FPE. Just to milk an extra 200-300 GE out of every top tier tank you get. And it's already completely debilitating for anybody who's grinding their first tank tree to get to top tier to buy shit if they don't play a lot of premiums, don't have a lot of premium time, and don't build up SL. I play with premium time. I can totally afford that. When we had that special sale on the yearly sale, I didn't buy it because I had already previously had bought it for, I think it was Christmas or New Year's, whatever. So I've got 214 days left at premium. On top of, you know, I bought a lot of other premiums with extra 15 days between that time. So I've had probably maybe a year and a half now of premium subscription. I don't need to worry. I've got 6 million SL. During the event, I've just been playing premiums and stuff. I haven't needed to grind anything in tree, so I've been making bank. I'm 6 million SL. I am fine to go buy a singular top tier. Maybe grinding an entire tech tree, not really, because I still got to buy a lot of shit. The PSO Arietti, which I believe stock is 17,000 to 18,000, looking at its max repair costs right now, considering I'm basically spaded, and it doesn't say I'm spaded. Let me uninstall something and reinstall. No, it still doesn't show that it's spaded. Am I missing something? No, I'm not. So, that's bugged. Now it doesn't show that the PSO is spaded, even though it is. Grinding these trees. I mean, these were fine. DM33 was fine stock. Considering them getting the best of the German round DM33 stock because their glass cannons made sense to what they are. They're glass cannons. They can't rely on armor. What are you going to do with heat? Especially the 105 Abrams? What the fuck are you going to shoot? You're going to shoot the driver's hatch and pray that the shell doesn't get absorbed by the breach or the gunner's head? Because apparently they put contact 5 within the brains of all of their drivers? What the fuck? The French show me that they did exactly what I would have expected them to do across the trees. which is what I was saying earlier about the Abrams and the 2K and all that shit. The Leclerc should have had OFL G1 since the beginning. I mean, this is the round of the AMX40. Which, in my opinion, it used to be the highest pen round because they hadn't changed angle penetration yet back then. And then on top of the formula change, this round is somewhat mediocre for a 120 round. Although it's pretty competent at killing what you're shooting at, you know, it's not exactly the best round. So for the AMX40, which is 9.7, that makes sense. The AMX32, I believe, is the same way. Yeah, G1. Those tanks are fine. Although, I mean, you're using heat stock on those, but they're somewhat mobile for their battle ratings. I mean, 9.3, you know. The Leclerc, you can see what my upgrades are at. 19,768 SL. I don't remember what it is exactly stock, but I'm going to go off a limb here and say maybe 15, 16,000. I believe it was 15,000 stock, I believe. G1 should have been something that is not paid for. Why? It costs the same to fire as F1 and SL costs. Why? It's a worse round. Why do the lesser rounds cost the same as the upgraded rounds? The only tanks that needed any sort of AP change that were firing heat first were the ones like the Leclerc, which didn't have a base round. The Type 90 does not have a base round. It fired heat. The Leclerc did not have a base round. It fires heat. The same with the AMX32 and the AMX40. They fire heat. The Italians were fine. The Chinese, I believe, always had heat stock. I don't remember. They may have actually had this upgraded, or like maybe it was rank 1 or rank 2. I don't remember. The Japanese needed this change. The French needed this change. The Russians did not. The Germans did not. The Americans did not, except for the 2K. No, never mind. Doesn't matter. There was very, very minor amount of tanks that needed this change. And then they were just like, oh, instead of changing the numbers and adding a shell or two to like 4 tanks, let's just go out of our way and put more effort into it than it was worth and overdoing it. And then fuck everybody over equally. The M60 at 9.0. Now, I know this is 9.0 and not at 10.0 like the Abrams, but the M60's mobilities, the mobility capabilities of the M60s are really shit. And now you're using heat. So, you gotta prioritize German vehicles, French vehicles, Italian vehicles. Why? Did it happen to the Merkava as well? No, because the Merkava already started off with heat. The Rise? No. Thank God for my Rise. Gaijin, just give the tanks that didn't have an APFSDS round stock a stock APFSDS round, like you did to the Leclerc. The Type 90, barely anybody plays Japan. Just give them JM33 stock. Who fucking cares? They're the they're the smallest nation played at top tier. Why? Why does everything have to be a generalization? Your statistics you use, in air quotes, are generalizations. I mean, holy fuck. I thought the free Abrams debacle was bad. This is fucking dumb. There's going to be those who slave away. Now, I've spent my fair share of money on this game. I understand that in a way I may look like a hypocrite. However, I understand for those out there that aren't as padded as me with playing this game for a longer period of time, are either going to be 2 types of people. If you've already bought something like an XM1, okay, keep playing, whatever the fuck. Keep using your XM1, keep stomping at 9.3. Maybe it'll get another battle rating increase to 9.7. Who the fuck knows? Keep using your premium. Don't even try to touch your stock vehicles. Save up your money, buy a tiny sliver of GE, and get the stock rounds for some of your tanks, and basically put, let's say, $6 US dollars, $6.50 US dollars for 1,000 GE for that small amount of tanks that you've grinded. You know, say you've grinded through all of this shit, Maybe use the M60s and stuff because, you know, they get a dart round, or not dart round, a saber round stock. Those ones are fine. There's going to be two types of people. That kind of three, actually. That kind of person, the other kind of person who doesn't have a premium tank at high tier and is going to buy one and buy more GE on purpose so they suffer less. And the third type of person who was grinding all the way up. They wanted that fancy Abrams because, you know, fucking Armored Warfare died because My.com, ironically enough, another company based out of Eastern Europe, seems to be completely fucking incompetent and like assholes. I understand money is tight over there in Eastern Europe, but come on. Seriously. And then they're going to look at, maybe they're at rank 4 or rank 5, and they're going to see what just happened, or they're going to hear about it from their friends that have been encouraging them to go to top tier to get this badass tank, and they can go, you know, they can play in custom battles and role play and shit and have fun. They can have fun. You know, video games supposed to be fun in some way. And they're just going to drop the game. And then you lost a shit ton of revenue. Your revenue stream is not going to change, Gaijin. There are people who are just going to drop the game and not give you money, and there's going to be the people that give you a little bit of money, and at the end of the day, the people who are giving you a little bit of money are just the same as before the change. You're not getting bonus money. You know what would have given you bonus money? Is if you gave tanks that had heat stock that are expensive to repair and repair costs, like the Swedish, the Italians, and the French, which are the last trees, ironically, from left to right, and they're also the last trees you should be researching. These 3 trees are for veteran players. That has been my hypothesis, is that Italy, France, and Sweden are for veteran players. You may say, well, the Americans and Germans and Russians have some expensive tanks. Yeah, but good fucking luck grinding a half-ass tree. Italy is somewhat now fleshed out. The French have been fucking expensive since what, like 7.7 with the Lorraine, the MX4 and shit. The Swedish, I mean, a lot of their vehicles are pretty memey, but they're also going to be getting repair cost increases as time goes on. What the fuck? There's no reason for this. There's none. None whatsoever. I have my GE ready to buy some of the last tasks because I'm going to be out for eye surgery again. As I have to reinstate that, I'm going to be out around about the time that these vehicles are coming out. I'm gonna have to prepare for my surgery, so I'm not gonna probably be on as much, you know, to keep my eyes nice and moist and stuff so they don't dry out. I mean, I've given them money. I've given them money plenty of times, but a lot of people that aren't as dedicated are not giving you money anymore. So I know this is a fast rant. It's probably still long as shit. I don't know. I don't care. I feel bad for everybody that wants a modern tank. I really do. I feel bad for all of you. The ones that, you know, don't have a lot of money to spend and you know, or, you know, are in high school and they spend every minute of their fucking day when they come home from school, the shitty education system that we have in some countries, especially like America, where everything, you fucking hate school, and you want to come home and you want to play video games, and they just made it 20 times harder. That homework that you've got sitting over there, now you're not going to fucking do that because you're going to be glued to the screen. I feel bad for everybody. Even people like me, I feel bad in some respect because I know some people don't have lineups as padded out as I have. Like with my Americans and my Italians and my Swedish. I'm sorry, guys. I feel so fucking bad for you, but, you know, just good luck. Don't spend money if you don't want to. And if you're going to grind it legitimately, good fucking luck. Imagine World War II tanks that were infantry support vehicles not having AP and just using high explosive. Imagine the Shermans running around using high explosive with like little to no AP. Or it was completely stock, just HE. Imagine this entire game, most of World War II vehicles not using AP when they start. Think about that. If you want a good comparison for those of you who aren't at top tier, imagine all of the tanks that you have right now not having AP stock. And even your first AP round is fucking mediocre. Because it's World War II cannons. Think about that. I'm done with this rant video. Good luck to all of you. If you decide to quit the game, I'm not fucking blaming you. I'm going to keep playing because I'm already up here. I like this game. I like that I can run around all of these tanks that I can't do in real life. But for all of you who wanted this, I'm sorry. And I don't blame you for leaving. I know that's a little hyperbolic, but I don't blame you. I'll see you guys next time.